Welcome, wonderful people, to the Sunday Rune and Card reading. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are new to this incredible YouTube community that we're building, welcome. I'm Jenny Florence, and today our readings are going to be enhanced by some energy from the archangels and also these amazing little talisman angels as well. Now, if you are new and you want to just fast forward, you don't have to listen to the additional guidance. If you want to fast forward to the readings, the timestamps are in the information box below. And anyone who is already a part of this incredible community, welcome back. Thank you so much for being you. Checking in with your comments, I mean, the integrity that comes through, the way you support one another, the way you support me, you guys are just amazing, so thank you. This has been an extraordinary year, and my goodness me, the energy you bring to this community is something else. So, you know, it's been a tough journey for many people, and you guys, as I said, you're pretty inspirational. I can't say any more. So wonderful people, as always, there's a handout. You can download it if you wish. I send out a weekly email with the handout and the information from this, with the extra guidance. So there's an email link again in the information with the timestamps, so you can connect in with that if you wish. Likewise, there's also an extra link at the moment. I have been immersing myself in the astrology for next year. I've been writing and completing next year's Astro-Moon diary and journal. There's a lot of astrological information in both, along with some channeled information in the diary. So if you are wanting notification as soon as we literally have them and we're ready to ship, it should be within the next week. There is an email list that you can join. It means that I can send you out a discount as well, a discount code, so that when you buy them you can get them at a much reduced rate. So enough of that. Let us move on. Let us move on and tune in to the additional guidance that we are being brought for these 3 readings. So reading number 1, we are tuning in with some Archangel oil. This is Archangel Raphael oil, and I've kind of paired it up. I call it, these for me are like little power packs. I've paired it up with a clear quartz crystal angel. Now, Archangel Raphael, his name literally means whom God heals. He's known of the archangel of literally of the healing of all living beings. Clear quartz is amazing because it's a master healer crystal. It stimulates the immune system. It brings the body back into balance. It's also said to draw off any form of negative energy, neutralizing, balancing and revitalizing us, literally, physically, mentally, emotionally and spiritually as well. So this is a pretty powerful combination. I find for myself, and people sometimes say, how do you use these things? I use the oil in many different ways. You can use it as a burning oil. You can also use it, I actually put a little bit on my pillow. If I'm kind of needing some healing, I will put a bit on my pillow and sleep with that energy around me. I also put a little bit of the oil onto my talisman angel, depending on which one I'm using. And then when I carry it around, it kind of gives it a bit of a turbocharge, I think. It really seems to pull the energies together. It means the talisman is kind of tuning me into the archangel that the oil is tuned in with as well. So if these are so tiny, they're amazing. You can kind of put them in your clothing or in your pocket, or I mean, I tuck them into my bra, but I will carry them around depending on what's happening in my world. And I will literally dab a little bit of oil on this, and the moment I touch it, it just brings me back into that zone, which is really helpful if we're working through anything in the context of our lives, and, you know, walking the pathway of a spiritual warrior as we are. It's an interesting pathway with a lot of learning. I don't think the learning ever stops. Reading number 2. Archangel Raziel, that's the oil that we're using in reading number 2, and the little talisman angel is actually one of amethyst. Now, Raziel's name means secrets of God. The oil is about mind expansion, and Archangel Raziel is known to, as I said, his name means secrets of God, and his energy and his influence assists us in sort of understanding esoteric messages, understanding spiritual ideas, but also he helps us to apply them in practical ways in our real everyday lives. So again, an amazing connection if we are needing to align ourselves, heighten our sort of, I don't know, our psychic abilities. Again, amethyst does exactly that. It really, for me, embodies empowerment through connection with spirit. So really tunes us in with those who love and guide us. So wonderful, wonderful combination if we are wanting to enhance our connection with the divine, to receive guidance and messages. Our last reading number 3, is going to be tuning in with Archangel Gabriel and this little golden quartz talisman angel. Now, Gabriel's name means God is my strength. She supports us in finding our true calling. She brings us the courage and strength as well to step into our fullest potential, to step into the unknown when we are moving into a space where we're maybe reaching into the new. And the energy of this golden quartz angel does the same. It really adds a sort of a turbocharge, I suppose, of universal life force. It brings vitality. It boosts our confidence. Absolutely amazing energy to connect in with Archangel Gabriel. So that is reading number 3. So wonderful people, I'm going to pause the video for 1 sec, that way I can put a timestamp in here, and we will then draw the cards. And the runes I will be drawing for each individual reading when I come to them, because it means that I can use the whole set of runes for every reading. They sometimes are showing up twice, more than once for some of the 3 readings. Welcome to the part of this where we draw our cards. I know a lot of you like to tune in with these, so we're going to draw an astrology card first. I think we are then, most definitely, we are going to draw from the Gaia Tarot pack. Lovely, lovely earth energy in these cards. Stunning illustrations, as you will see. I'm sure some of you are very familiar with them already. We are then going to draw from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. Well, one is leaping out, insisting. In fact, 2 are leaping out, insisting, and the 3rd is showing itself. Lovely. And appropriately, I think, we are going to draw on the Archangel Oracle pack as well. Wonderful. A really, really gorgeous energy actually here at the moment. I know a lot of you guys really pick up on it when you're tuning in, so no doubt you can feel it. It's there's a warmth, a radiance actually here. It really is quite stunning. So wonderful people, now is the time to tune into your intuition. As I said, we will draw the runes for each individual reading to make sure that we have the whole bag available to us, the whole set for everyone. See which of these readings, or more than one reading, is speaking to you. I know for some people it'll be one reading now and one in the middle of the week, and sometimes it's more than one immediately, you just know, and sometimes it's even all 3. Wonderful, wonderful people. So much love to you. I will see you in the readings. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 1. So wonderful people, let's move our little talisman angel and our oil up there out of the way, and let's draw some runes. Okay, so our first rune is the rune of harvest. That's lovely. It's a fruit bearing rune, However, it does say that something can't, we can't force it to grow. It needs to be, we can provide the best possible conditions for something to grow, but we can't force it to happen. But it is a fruit-bearing rune. It suggests it's a very powerfully positive rune. But yeah, sowing seeds, cultivating the soil, got that kind of flavour around it. Partnership. There is the energy of partnership around you. This could be intimate partnership, it could be business partnership. And we have the rune of strength. This feels like source energy is available to you. It's interesting, we have this energy of healing. Archangel Raphael, he's known as the archangel who heals, physical healing for all living beings. And again, this master crystal, this amazing little, this absolutely stunning little talisman angel who brings us back into balance. Let's see where that energy is going to sit with our cards. So we have the card of Scorpio, I transform. In fact, let's move that along here a little bit. See where we sit. Let's move our cards along. Quite feel like I'd quite like to have a nice row here. So we have the King of Earth in reverse. This is interesting because for me this is a card that kind of I associate it with manifestation. We have the card of thought, we have the card of desire, we have the card take a leap, and we have the card of compassion. Let's move these along and then I'll hold them up so you can see them more clearly as we are talking them through. Okay, this is an interesting reading here, okay, because in some ways, first of all, we have Scorpio, I transform. So something is in the process of being, I feel like this reading it's connecting into some aspect of manifestation. I'm not sure what is needing to be healed. It may be that within you there is some sense of, I don't know, either urgency or trying to make something happen. There's something is transforming and you're moving through something. Now, the King of Earth is interesting because for me in reverse, it sort of suggests, actually I'm getting quite a strong message coming through here. This is making some sense here in terms of the healing. The King of Earth in reverse for me sometimes suggests somebody who is, if it's in the upright position, it's somebody who's really good. They're successful, they've manifested their world, they've done well. In reverse, it can suggest, it's the energy of someone who, I want to say they're a bit of a taker, actually. You know, they kind of want to get everything, but they don't want to have to put in the work or the time and the energy. I think for some of you, you've been involved in some sort of relationship with someone who was rather like that. It's quite interesting because I'm not suggesting that the person, that there's for some of you maybe there is someone around you, but I think for others there's a new relationship. This would suggest, this is speaking to me of a new opportunity in relationship, but it's like it's weighing you down. It's like history is, there's fear or anxiety around around taking that risk, taking a leap. You know, you've been let down in the past. I used the analogy of this in one of my other readings about drains and radiators. You know, if two radiators get together, you know, let's say people are either drains or radiators in very simplistic terms. A taker in the upright position, for me, the King of Earth is a radiator. He's abundant. He's really, he's very successful at manifesting. He does really well for himself, but you know, he's really strong. It's lovely energy. In reverse, we're talking about the drains rather than the radiators. If two radiators get together, it's nothing but abundance. But when a radiator finds themselves connected to a drain, it's exhausting. It's that sort of toxicity. It's that often a narcissist. What I'm hearing is you guys have had, I think for some of you, there's really been someone like this in your past. And there's now a new opportunity around you. There's a new relationship, whether this is intimate or business. You're being asked to take a leap of faith. Now the card of thought is speaking to us as well. It's very important because the card of thought says, you know, look, what we think is what we create. Okay, we are in a process of creation, of creativity all the time. So if we are fearful and we're going over and over the past because somebody once previously, or indeed maybe more than one person, has let you down, it's like the residue of that in your mind where you're mulling things over is actually causing a halt in your process of manifestation. Now the rune of harvest is very positive. You need to let something emerge. The rune of strength, source energy, is with you. I think this actual process of transformation here is going to involve, I'm just tilting these so that we don't get the light of the camera on them, otherwise it starts to come through because they're quite shiny cards, these two packs. The transformation is actually the letting go of that history, the fear that comes with it. You know, can you dare risk becoming involved in a new partnership? Now, whether this partnership is to do with, whether this partnership is business or indeed it's intimate, whatever it is, this rune also asks us not to collapse ourselves into the emotionality of that new beginning, because if we do, we sometimes then become absorbed in the part, literally in remembering the past. It's almost like we start to relive it in our mind. We worry that the same thing will happen again. Now the card of desire is asking you to lean into your desires. It's asking you to trust in your sense of entitlement. There's again connecting into the energy of the rune of strength. Really, this is very much a reading of manifestation, and it's asking you to be mindful of your own thinking patterns, because what we think is what we create. Make sure your thoughts are in tune with your desires and not with your fears from the past. I really hear the strength of the fact that some of you have most definitely you've had an experience of a taker, and it's really, it's put you off, it's slowed you down. It doesn't have to. It's now time to nurture a new beginning, and it's through that new beginning that the healing occurs. It's through that opportunity where you take a risk. That is actually where the healing occurs. We have this wonderful card, Archangel Zadkiel. Soften your heart with respect to this situation and all the people involved, including yourself. It's time to let go of something that has happened and embrace the fact that there is a new opportunity around you. Take a leap. This card is an invitation to take a leap of faith. Sometimes, even when we desperately desire change, we procrastinate and we find all kinds of reasons as to why we should stay as we are. It is completely understandable to be anxious when stepping into the unknown. This card is calling you to trust and make that move. I'm also hearing another very clear message coming through. This is to do with intimacy, intimate relationships. If you have been involved in someone really taking more than they gave in relationship, if previously a relationship was out of balance, it's time again, step into the unknown, take that risk. For some of you, it's literally saying, do you know what, I'm going to dare to believe that something different is possible. I'm going to embrace that space of healing. I'm going to I'm going to start dating again, for example. I appreciate in the current circumstances that maybe means connecting with people online, maybe join a spiritual dating site, but the key here is it's time to take a leap. Allow yourself to believe in that possibility. Allow yourself to believe in your desires and realign yourself with your desires. Don't let the current circumstances hold you back. There is much healing and much transformation that can take place even if you are literally in a sort of a self-isolating position for a variety of reasons. You can still make that connection with people. So whether this is business or intimate, I'm really hearing you're being asked to have the confidence to heal the past, heal this previous circumstance or relationship, and move beyond it. Make sure your thoughts are in alignment with your true desires, and be compassionate to yourself and to others. Walk away, send love and walk away. In terms of the past, it's time to take a leap. Very powerful energy here in this reading. Wonderful, wonderful people. Thank you so much. Don't forget to join the email list. If I'm so excited about the Art of Manifestation Astro-Moon Diary and Journal coming out. If you want to be notified and get that discount, do join that email list below. So much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 2. We have the energy of Archangel Raziel and the energy of Amethyst, a beautiful amethyst talisman angel. Now let's draw some runes first of all. So our first rune is the rune of constraint, followed by the rune of joy. Followed by the rune of movement. Okay, so there is an energy of restriction that's around you at the moment, an energy of constraint. Something is holding you back in some way, but the rune of joy and the rune of movement suggests that something is going to move forwards. The rune of joy is a fruit-bearing rune. It's out of darkness into light. The way is opened for you, and it's like a new dawn, actually. And the rune of movement, it's the bettering of any situation. So very lovely energy there. Of course, we have this stunning little talisman angel. Amethyst is a master crystal. It's said that it connects us really very directly to spirit and the divine, as does Archangel Raziel. So let's see what our cards are showing us. It is interesting because the rune of joy can also be an indication of very powerful connection to spirit. So first of all, second house owning. We have the astrological card, followed by the card of love, the card of the self, and the card, this is amazing, these are really tuning in with the runes here. We have the card of love, the card of the self, we have the ace of fire, we have the card of problems, and we have the card of all is well, Archangel Jeremiah. Okay, I can really hear a very strong message coming through here. I will hold the cards up so that you can also see them as we talk our way through this reading. Okay, now there is a problem around you in some way. So we have the rune of constraint. Now the rune of constraint is interesting because in some ways, although it means that there's a sense of restriction around you, or there's a hold up in some way, or something is yeah, I can literally almost feel there's a sense of frustration around. I can feel it in my legs. My legs feel quite agitated. It's quite interesting. But the card of problems is a reminder. This card asks you to view any problems as an opportunity rather than a crisis. When we identify a problem, our very recognition and acknowledgement of this difficulty creates an opportunity to seek a potential solution. As long as a problem remains unseen or indeed denied, the doorway to a potential solution remains closed. For me, this is a card that sort of says, look, you know, is there an elephant in the living room? Is there something we're not acknowledging or validating? Because if we don't recognize it, or we don't bring it into the open, we can't attend to it. We can't do anything about it. So pretty powerful card. There is some sense of an obstacle or a restriction around you. The second house owning card, I think again we are being asked to take an ownership of whatever this is about. Just the very fact that we recognize it is going to create a kind of an energetic shift of some sort and allow something to be moved forwards, or to allow a solution to find its way through. Now this is tuning me into Archangel Raziel and this beautiful little amethyst angel, because Archangel Raziel helps to awaken our spiritual sight. He brings us a clarity of vision. He allows us to stand back and see our situation from a spiritual perspective, an overview. It's the bigger picture really that we're getting when we connect in with Archangel Raziel. And amethyst is It's a master crystal. It really does heighten our intuition and our psychic abilities, so we can begin to see what we need to do. We need to acknowledge a problem. The very acknowledgement will help to shift the energy of this rune and of this card. This is what brings us light. You know, we are carried across the gap by the wings of heaven, out of darkness into light. We find a new dawn. There's an opening here, the bettering of any situation. Archangel Jeremiah says, all is well. Everything is happening as it's supposed to, with hidden blessings that you will soon understand. It's just that sense of restriction may not feel like it at this present moment. But the card of love is again asking you to view your situation through the eyes of love and compassion. View your situation, you know, how would love view your situation? How would kindness view your situation? How would grace view your situation? You're definitely being lifted. That's what I'm being shown. You're being lifted. You're being given an opportunity to tune into a space where Archangel Raziel is really wanting to lift you above, so you have an overview of your current situation and you see it through a different lens. This will actually become something of a liberation. When you are tuned in to that higher vision. The card of the self, for me, I mean, she's literally meditating. It's a beautiful, beautiful card, and you can see the doves above her head. You know, they are literally, again, you're being lifted. There's an opportunity. Tune into your higher knowing, your deeper inner self. You do actually know what to do here, but it needs that connection to spirit and divine wisdom to receive the guidance you need to move forwards. Meditate on this. What is actually going to emerge is a new beginning. We have here the Ace of Fire. I mean, this is magnificent. This is like the Ace of Wands in some of the more traditional packs. A new beginning, a new opportunity is coming. And I love the spider here on this sort of egg shape. The spider is really, she's spinning the web. It's the web of life. It's an amazing card to draw when you are if you're currently experiencing a restriction or a challenge of in some way. This is suggesting, again, combining with the rune of movement, you're going to find your way through this. There is a way through this, but it's going to come through what I would call kind of a higher knowing and a spiritual wisdom. So whatever is taking place around you, don't let it get you down. Again, you know, if you can tune into the energy of Raziel, Archangel Raziel, and if you have a piece of amethyst, I said for me I use the combination of these, but you don't have to have both of these. If you have, if you can, when you go to sleep, if you have a piece of amethyst, you can place it under your pillow. Ask Archangel Raziel to come into your dreams, to walk with you, to assist you in finding your way through this, to rise. Literally, it is a rising. I'm seeing you being lifted above. It's really rather beautiful. What I'm kind of being shown, it is like a new dawn, and it is as though I'm seeing it's like a mist. You know when you walk out in the early mornings, particularly at this time of year. Actually, I've seen it quite a lot. I go out walking very early, and the mist there's like a layer of mist just hovering above the ground as the sun rises. It's quite extraordinary. It's an amazing time actually to tune into spiritual guidance. I find quite a lot seems to channel through on my early morning walks, perhaps because it's so still and the world has not yet woken up so energetically. It's not yet busy. The energy hasn't yet been too cluttered. The freeways of energy are still very, very clear. Again, you may wish to take a walk in nature in the early morning. I can certainly recommend it as a form of meditation. But yeah, I think the answer will come to you. Whatever restriction you're feeling, take your time. The answers will come, but you are being given an opportunity here, I believe, to rise above, to be lifted above something, so you have a clearer vision. This is a deeply spiritual reading, but there is a need to take an ownership, to see something for what it is, in order, or to allow yourself to see something for what it is, in order to then receive the guidance you need to move through and beyond. Wonderful, wonderful people. So much love to you. I will hopefully see you soon in some new readings, or indeed I will be making the announcement soon about the Art of Manifestation Astro-Moon Journal 2021 and Astro-Moon Diary 2021, so watch out for those. So much love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 3, guided by Archangel Gabriel and this gorgeous golden quartz talisman angel. So wonderful people, let's draw some runes. So our first rune is the rune of the spiritual warrior. The second is the rune of joy. We then have the rune of ice. It's an interesting rune because ice is a rune of standstill, and yet curiously enough the rune of joy is out of darkness into light. It's a fruit-bearing rune. It's like a new dawn carried across the gap by the wings of heaven. I'm wondering if you guys are needing to rest up in some way. The pathway of the spiritual warrior, and this speaks of right action. It speaks of walking that pathway. Let's look at the cards. I'm going to move these here so that I can move the bag a little bit out of the way for us, and let's just move these here and let's have a look at our cards. So our first card, Mercury, mind. Okay, that's an interesting first card. There's a lot of thought here actually, because we then have the 7 of air. Wow, 2 sevens. We have the 7 of air, we have the 7 of fire, we then have the 9 of water, followed by outcome and outdoors. Okay, this is interesting. I do feel like you're needing to take a pause in something. Okay, now it's very, very interesting because Archangel Gabriel, her name means God is my strength. She supports us with connecting to our true calling. She helps us to step into the biggest, best version of ourselves. Very much aligns with the rune of the spiritual warrior. It's walking that good red road, walking that pathway. However, I feel like here there's been a lot of thought, a lot of time, a lot of energy. There's been a big investment, I think, for you guys. You've really been, I want to say, working hard to achieve something. In many ways, the golden quartz talisman angel really does bring us that universal sort of turbocharged universal life force energy, and that can really be there in our manifestations. Whatever you have been working at, you have been manifesting with mind, body and emotion. You've really invested heavily in something, and I think there is an essence around you of wondering, it's almost like I think you're being asked to take a pause. I don't think the ice is necessarily a rune that is suggesting things are at a standstill negatively. So let's just pick up the card of outcome. That's what's really speaking through here at the moment. This card asks you not to be too attached to a specific outcome. In any new situation, the possibilities are open-ended. Anything might happen. Try not to prescribe a fixed outcome within your mind, as this may limit your availability to access the infinite scope of possibilities sent to guide you in the best possible direction. And this is, I think, where we are tuning in with the rune of ice. I don't think the rune of ice is coming in as a negative. Sometimes it suggests that sort of, the winter of manifestation is upon you. I don't feel that at all. What I feel as though the message that's coming through, you are being asked not to be too fixed to a specific goal or target. There's a need to review something here. So everything in many ways is moving forwards, and I want to say it's moving forwards as it should. For some of you, literally, you have invested your heart and soul in something, and it's not, if it's not moving forwards, it's not because something isn't going to work out. It's actually not moving forwards because you need to take a break. You need to stand back from it. I think, you know, sometimes it's like we can't see the woods for the trees. We're too involved, we're too attached to an outcome. Our mind is so focused that we lose sight of the ability to begin to be a little bit more flexible on our journey. I'm actually being called to draw another rune, which is interesting, just to, in a way, show something of an outcome here. But there is, I think you have been really heavily involved in a really powerfully good way, I want to add as well, in manifesting, in learning the art of keeping your intentions really clear. This is curious because what this is tuning me into is the difference between intentions and wishes. Okay, now an intention is, it's quite, it's got a more masculine feel. It's got the energy of the sun connected to us. It's very directive. It's kind of like, I intend to. So it's quite goal driven. It's quite goal and target orientated. Now that's amazing because the power of the mind is extraordinary. However, if the universe has a different calling for us, if you like. So the energy of Archangel Gabriel, she helps us to step into our true calling. Now, if we're very fixed in terms of our goal, our intention, our direction, where we think we're going, if we're too fixed, then we are not open to the guidance that we may be being shown that will allow us to sort of almost like course correct along the way. Okay, you know, the key here is to do with tuning into our desires and our calling it's like holding your intentions in your mind, but also being flexible at the same time in terms of outcome. For me, these two sevens, they are both pivotal moments of manifestation. For me, the sevens speak of a pivotal time when choices are going to be available to us. Circumstances are going to emerge. We are in that active space of manifestation, of transformation. But I don't think... let's tune into this other card. I think there needs to be this combination of both mind and emotion. It's a combination of what we think we want as well as what we desire at a level of heart and soul. You're being asked to, I think you've thrown yourself into something, and that's amazing, and you are manifesting. You are being called here just to slow it down a little, and if something isn't moving forwards, trust that there's good purpose to this. There is a need just to review, to have a look at something. It may be that there's some tweaking that's needed. Now, Archangel Jophiel says, go outside, get some fresh air, connect with nature to relieve stress and gain new creative ideas. So if something is feeling stuck, don't lose sight of your vision. Don't, you know, you're not on track. In fact, everything here is suggesting you are on track. It's just that there's some course correcting, some tweaking, you need a new burst of creativity here. It's more to enlarge the scope of your ideas that will enhance you walking into a direction that is more in tune with your higher vision and your greater calling. That's really all that's happening here. It's not a halt to progress. It's a needed break. It's a needed breather, and it's a needed time to be shown some additional to allow yourself to immerse yourself in those, I want to say, those creative spark moments. So again, very clear message coming through, and it's to do with you know, neurologically, I remember reading an article many years ago, and some of you will know, I have worked as a counsellor and psychotherapist for over 28 years, and neurologically, I remember reading a study, when we immerse ourselves in something, it's really important for problem solving and to move something forwards and to gain traction. But sometimes it's when we step away from it that we get this sort of creative spark, and they call it a spike. Literally, MRI scans have shown that you get it's like an electrical current. It's a spike. That's why they call it a spike. And it's when that moment of that new creative idea or the creative solution to a problem occurs to us, and having immersed ourselves in the whole spectrum of everything that we're trying to move forwards, it's kind of when we go home and we step into the shower that the answer comes to us. It's when we go outside, we go outdoors, and we've got fresh air, we relax, we de-stress, and the solution comes. That's the moment that you're facing. I am being called to draw another rune, so I'm going to. Okay. And we have the rune of signs, of signals. Just going to move those along. This is a rune of synchronicity, of signals, of signs, of synchronicities. It's very interesting because it actually does say that even a warning of something like a jolt out of the blue can actually prove to be really important and really good timing. So there's something about being open to signs, signals, synchronicities. Again, it's this: go outdoors, get some fresh air, connect with nature. It's like climbing into the shower. Be aware of chance meetings, listen to unexpected happenings, trust that you will be shown what you need. Some kind of creative spark is potentially going to be, I think, coming your way, or certainly if you're open and relaxed and de-stressed enough to receive it. So standing still is important. Archangel Gabriel, and again the energy of this golden quartz talisman angel. This is all about stepping into your fullest potential, aligning your direction with your calling in some way, whatever aspect of your lives that is. But yeah, take some time out, relax, unwind. I think the inspiration will come to you. I want to say huge respect for holding the pathway you've been holding. You're not on track in any way. It's just that there needs to be some form of creative spark that is going to slightly alter for some of you. It's going to show you possibly a slightly different pathway. I'm not seeing a different pathway though. It's interesting. I'm not seeing that. It's more that it's going to enhance your pathway in some way. And for some of you, literally, I think you're worn out. You've invested so much of yourselves. You just need to stop. The way will be shown, and the answer to the whatever it is you're facing, that the standstill is going to be shown to you. It's going to come potentially unexpectedly, so it may come in a form that you would not have previously expected. Wonderful, wonderful people. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you for other readings, and yeah, I'll be doing new moon readings soon as well, which is exciting. And yes, do join that email list if you want to get a discount and hear as soon as the Art of Manifestation journal and diary are available, which is just so imminent. I am so excited. So much love to you all. Namaste.